Hello everyone, it is so wonderful to be joining you today, working together for human rights, for West Papuans, people all around the world joining together at this event this afternoon. I'm Senator Janet Rice, I'm the Australian Greens spokesperson for Foreign Affairs, and it's my delight to be recording this video for you from my office here in Canberra, and to be joining you and knowing that we are part of a solidarity of people who are working for human rights in West Papua. I want to acknowledge that I'm recording this video today on the traditional lands of the Ngunnawal and Ngambri people, and I want to pay my respects to their elders past and present, and to all First Nations peoples, and for all of us who are watching this today, wherever you are in Australia, to remember that you are on First Nations land. You're on stolen land. Sovereignty was never ceded, and it is, always was, and always will be Aboriginal land. And we've got to be working for justice for our First Nations peoples, just as we are working for justice for peoples in West Papua. The Australian Greens believe that universal human rights are fundamental, and that they must be respected and protected in all countries and for all people. And Tuesday, the 1st of December, as you know, it was the 59th anniversary of the first raising of West Papua's symbol of independence, the Morning Star flag. And I was very pleased to be able to give a speech in the Senate on Tuesday evening, marking the West Morning Flag Day. So the Australian Greens have long advocated for West Papuan self-determination and the right to live without fear or violence. And it was former Australian Greens leader, Richard Di Natale, who in 2012 launched Australia's chapter of the International Parliamentarians for West Papua. And I know that Richard, although he has now left the Senate, no longer leader of the Australian Greens, remains a very true and very strong friend of West Papua. And when the Indonesian President visited Australia last year, we knew that it was crucial, and we did. We raised the issue of human rights in West Papua with him, and I was very proud to be part of a party that did that, because we're incredibly concerned about violations of human rights and threats to life in West Papua, particularly for Papuans who are protesting, and it's particularly the case around this time of year, around the 1st of December. And so we are particularly conscious of the incredible work that's being done by Human Rights Watch, by Amnesty, by Make West Papua Safe, the West Papua Women's Office, and many other human rights organisations and activists who are working together to be raising the profile and making sure that there is visibility about what's going on in West Papua. And just a few weeks ago, I was so upset to hear of the ongoing violence, the awful reports that a 17-year-old was shot dead and another teenager was injured in a police shootout, and about church pastor Jeremiah Zanembani, who was found murdered, potentially by Indonesian security forces. These murders and attacks are tragic. They undercut people's right to protest, to be safe and secure from attack by Indonesian government forces. The Australian Greens support the people of West Papua, and we call upon the Indonesian government to withdraw its combat troops from West Papua and to allow the UN Human Rights Commissioner to visit West Papua. And we are incredibly concerned about the ongoing violence from Indonesian police, the military and militias, and particularly against protesters who mark West Papuan Flag Day. And this is a particularly important issue for Australia, which has provided training and support to Indonesian police. So when Indonesian police commit brutalities and human rights violations in West Papua, that is a real issue of concern that Australians must be aware of and take stock of. We really must examine whether we, as Australians, are enabling these violations and take serious, urgent action if we are. As I said, I raised these issues in the Senate on Tuesday this week, and I am going to continue to raise them with our Foreign Minister, Marise Payne, to get the Australian government to be taking more active action and a stronger message to the Indonesian government that this continuing violence and the continuing attack on human rights in West Papua is just unacceptable. It has to stop. So look, in conclusion, I hope that today goes really well and really is a terrific bringing together of people who are working so hard for rights and for justice. And I just want to commend you all for all the work and the activism that you are doing on this very important issue. Thank you.